Hard sports all plays. Hard sports all plays. 365, we making the plays. You talking the game, get you through the days. We're high in the court, the dime in the lane. Variety, topics never the same. All presentation, sports information. In the airways, taking the nation. All sport, all plays, like working your faces. Grace at the field, so tie the laces. Hard sports all plays. Network. Hard sports all plays. Network. We on top of our game. Hard sports all plays. Hard sports all plays.
What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of ASAP Real Talk. Happy Thursday to everybody involved. Alongside with us are the usual four: Coach Cam, Chris, Freddie, and myself. How we doing today, fellas?
Well, I'm good, man. Had a wonderful draft show yesterday and ready to top it off with Real Talk today.
Yes, sir. I'm very excited to talk about the draft. You know, you're going to love what I have to say today. You know, I bring the hot takes. You know, I bring the knowledge. You know, I bring the stats and the facts. And I know you're ready to hear Freddie say the delusional takes, man. It's the last day we're going to have to hear Freddie for the week. So let's just get it over with, ladies and gentlemen.
Wow. All right. Coach Cam, how you doing?
Nah, I'm doing pretty good, man. Ready to get the show going. I was over here jamming to that Jeezy and Gucci battle before the show. So I'm ready. I'm ready to go.
Man, y'all eat good today? I know I did, man. I had me a little sandwich earlier today. Used to be able to get those for $5 somewhere. Man, I can't say the company until some money's thrown some ASAP way. But I'll tell you what you can do for $5. Actually, Coach Cam, why don't you tell them?
Hey, Suzanne Paparazzi Jewelry, home of the $5 jewelry. You know, they have all type of, jewelry accessories that you can get for just $5. 24/7 shopping available. www.paparazziaccessories.com. Code 160920. Hey, it's almost Christmas time. Make sure you don't miss out on the gift and you don't have to spend a lot. Holla at Suzanne Paparazzi.
Speaking of not spending a lot for a gift, Chris, what would be a great gift for somebody and you don't have to spend too much money on it?
I mean, I see you guys in the comments already. We just went live, so I just want to say thank you to everybody tuning in right now. To get a free t-shirt, what I want you to do is comment on the video, like the page, share the page. At the end of the month, we're going to tally it up, and that person is going to be crowned the viewer of the month. Whoever's the viewer of the month is going to get a very nice, beautiful, free, ladies and gentlemen, ASAP Network t-shirt. You're going to get that t-shirt to you ASAP.
Now, what if I'm a little hesitant in the comments section? What if I'm not exactly wanting to put my comments out there?
Well, we still encourage you to comment anyway. You know, we engage with our comments, still like and support us. But if you don't want to comment, if you just like viewing it, you know, t-shirts are $25. You can message us on Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter. Tell us your size, tell us your information. We're going to get it to you. $25 plus shipping and handling. You're going to get a nice ASAP t-shirt ASAP.
All right, Freddie, I hear we got a brand new sponsor. Let's hear a little bit of that.
Just message us, and we'll get one right to you.
All right, Anchor. Like Chris said, you can follow us on Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, Twitter. You can find us on Anchor as well. If you're not able to watch last night's show, hey, well, what's the best way to go watch it? Anchor. You have all our episodes on there where you can catch us on our previous episode, even this episode as well. Also, we have another one, Oregon Made Misty Meadows, Jam and More. Check them out at 48053 Highway 101 South, Brandon, Oregon. Give them a call at 541-347-2575.
All right. That hits us home for everybody we need to cover today. So let's get going into some topics. Let's start with the NFL. We're going to keep it short and sweet today on the NFL because there's a lot of NBA news to talk about. So let's start today with Thursday Night Football. Right now, it's currently going on. There are about 3 minutes left in the first half of that game. And currently, the Seattle Seahawks are up on the Arizona Cardinals 13-7 as we speak right now. Coach Cam, I'm going to talk to you first. What are your thoughts on this game so far?
Hey man, coming into the game, I picked Seattle to win. It's something don't sit right with me. With Russell Wilson gonna lose 3 out of 4. That don't sit right with me. I don't see him losing that. Um, you know, and I hear the weather's playing a factor up there. So what worries me and concern me is how is Kyler Murray gonna play in those conditions? You know what I mean? I mean 5'7" is 5'7", and he also has smaller hands, with that slick ball. So it's just gonna interesting to see how how the game progresses. But it's gonna be a close one. It's gonna come down to the final possession. It's gonna be a one-score game, and I'm interested to see who wins. I'm hoping Seattle, just because I picked them, but it won't be surprising to see the Cardinals on the other innings as well.
Freddie, I'm going to ask you, what are your thoughts on today's Thursday night matchup?
Well, tonight's game is a huge key to see who's going to win this division. We have Russell Wilson against Kyler Murray, same size, both got drafted to baseball. I mean, this is going to be amazing. I've been watching the first half. Right now, Russell Wilson is showing why he's still the MVP. Russell Wilson is showing why he's better than Kyler Murray. One thing that we do need to pay attention to about Kyler Murray, he has been flexing at the shoulders a little bit. He do have a little injury, and the question is, once it gets tight, hey, will he still be able to make those plays? So that's something that we need to keep our eye on.
There you go, Chris. I know you said that you had some words to say about today's game. What are you thinking on that?
Listen. We saw what happened the first time these guys played. Y'all remember what happened? Russell Wilson showed why he should be the MVP in the first half. He played terrible, and the Seahawks team played terrible the second half. And the Cardinals were the one that dominated the second half. So don't go jump in the conclusion and say, oh, they're playing good right now. Kendall Lum, I see you in the comments. He's showing why he's the MVP. Don't jump to conclusions. Because last time these teams played, the Cardinals came back in the second half. And that's why I picked the Cardinals to win. And I will say this, whoever wins this game will win the division. If the Cardinals win this game, they have 2 wins over the favorite to win this division. So all they have to do is beat out most of the teams. I got to go back and look at the schedule, but it might be possible. Listen, the Cardinals are a very, very good young team. And if they lose right now, for one, Russell Wilson is taking a step back in the MVP race, and Kyler Murray has to be the favorite right now, or he has to be top 5 if he wins this game against Russell Wilson.
Yeah, I can't imagine that this game does not kind of constitute the winner of that division. I've always kind of figured that this game would be the one that we look at to see who's going to take the NFC West. And currently it's looking to be a good matchup. It's a very low-scoring affair, something that we probably didn't expect with these two defenses, at least early on. That's the case. So we're off to a decent start. We're going to go on to the rest of Week 11 here. What do you all think is going to be the best game here in Week 11? I'm going to go in reverse order now. I'll go and start with you first, Chris.
What do I think the best game Week 11? I have the Titans versus the Ravens. This matchup last year in the playoffs, a lot of people picked the Ravens. A lot of people said the Ravens were going to the Super Bowl, and the Titans, including Derrick Henry, punched them in the mouth. So this is going to be a rematch between these two teams. To me, both teams are struggling to really take a step forward, and but they need this win to start their playoff push. Because when I look at the Ravens, they're struggling right now. Take a loss to New England. The offense isn't there. Lamar Jackson isn't playing the best because I keep saying this all the time. He has nobody to throw to, so they have tape on his team. It's easy to guard. When I look at their Titans, their defense to me is so inconsistent. The fact that they can't get after the quarterback, they can't pass rush. So for me, both teams need this win. Both teams want to win their division. Right now, the Ravens are looking like they're going to be a wild card spot. The Titans, are trying to beat the Colts, so it's important to them. I think this is going to be a very, very good matchup. It's going to be a ugly matchup. What I mean by that is run, brutally run. It's going to come down to the last quarter. And right now, I'm leaning towards the Ravens, but who knows how it's going to be during game time.
That is definitely a nice matchup. Freddie, I'll go to you. What game are you looking at that you are really interested in Week 11?
Hey, Tammy Poston. Yeah, she said the Colts are amazing. But guess who played the Colts this Sunday? The Green Bay Packers. They're facing that bad man in Aaron Rodgers. And why is that a big game? Because the Green Bay Packers need to prove that they can beat one of these elite teams with an elite defense. We know what the Colts bringing on the defensive side. They're probably they're the top 5 best defensive team in the game, if not the best. So this is going to be a challenge for the Green Bay Packers. If they can beat them, we can definitely see what this team is about come playoffs. Coach Cam always talks about how soft this team is. So Aaron Rodgers needs to play good against the Colts. They need to get the win, and it will change the odds of this game. See, Brad Poston, he said Coach will make Aaron Rodgers wish he retired after last season. Yeah, after they win this Sunday, it's gonna close out a lot of that talk. So handle your business this coming Sunday.
Definitely an interesting game to look at. One of the highest powered offenses in the NFL versus one of the best defenses, best defensive units in the NFL. Coach Cam will have you bring it home. What game are you looking forward to in Week 11?
I'm looking forward to that Packers Colts matchup. Like Freddie said, just because I want to see can the Green Bay Packers handle the physicality of that defense of the Indianapolis Colts. I've always said a team that's very physical in the trenches with Green Bay beats them, and they normally beat them down handily because they can't take the first punch. So it's going to be interesting to see, can the Packers fight back? Can they hang in the trenches against this Colts team? They have DeForest Buckner. They have Darius Leonard on defense. So I'm excited about the matchup. I do think the Colts. I do agree with Nate here. I do think the Colts are going to win, but we will see. But I do like the physicality up front, and I like the fact that they should be able to run the ball against the Packers defense because the Colts got one of the best lines in the game. They got they have the best left guard in the game, and Quentin Nelson.
I tell you what, whenever I was first looking at the Week 11 schedule, the first game that popped out to me was that Green Bay and Indianapolis game. But to shed light on a different game, I'm going to hit a different one. I'm looking at the LA Rams going to Tampa Bay to face the Bucs. I think it's going to be a very important game right now, especially with Drew Brees out for the Saints. I think this is a big time for the Bucs to try to capitalize, try to take that division. And I think that whenever you're looking at it, I mean, you have two divisional rivals facing off this week. The Rams are in desperate need of a win as well. The NFC West could still be grabbed by that Rams team in third place. Coach Cam predicted it here on ASAP Real Talk that they will win that division. And so that this would be a big statement game for them if they can be able to pull it off. And we've seen the way Tom Brady plays under pressure so far. Whenever that O-line allows some pressure to him out in Tampa Bay, he does not react well. And there's a bad man out there in number 99 in Aaron Donald that can give a lot of pressure. So, it'll be interesting to see how Tom Brady kind of reacts with the pass rush that the Rams are going to be sending. I think they're going to be sending a lot of looks that Tom Brady may not have seen in film. So, I think it'll be interesting to see. And personally, I have the Rams taking the Bucs to town this weekend. I think they'll be able to pull off that game. So that brings us to the end of the NFL talk for today's episode because, man, do we have a lot to cover when it comes to the NBA. This is a very important time. Last night was the NBA draft for 2020. A lot of big names going to their new homes. But let's start with the classic hot take. Freddie, I want to go to you first. What is your hot take on the NBA?
My hot take for the NBA is that the Los Angeles Clippers will not be a top 3 team next year. Why? Because they are. I do not believe they are going to fix their problems. What is their problems? They need a big man. They need a big man that can get in there and they're able to stop Anthony Davis, post up with Anthony Davis, stop him in the post, stop him on the mid range, and they need a leader. I do not think they will get that point guard. I don't think they'll get a Rajon Rondo. I don't think they'll get a Derrick Rose. So I believe that the Los Angeles Rams will fall out of that top 3 favorite teams. You need to look out for a team like Dallas making moves, getting a Josh Richardson. Y'all see what they did yesterday. They
the Los Angeles Rams?
No, I'm sorry. I was reading comments. I'm sorry. The Dallas Mavericks, when they got a Josh Richardson, they're getting shooters with Luka. I believe they'll get another piece in free agency. You got to look out for a team for Portland. They're dangerous. You have to look out for Utah. They're dangerous. The Nuggets. So Clippers fans, do not feel bad when I say that you guys are falling out of that top 3 in the Western Conference.
Clippers falling out of the top 3. Well, that's definitely a hot take. We'll move over to Coach Cam. Give me a hot take on the NBA season.
Oh, man. Hot take on the NBA season. The news yesterday. of Klay Thompson, unfortunately, tearing his Achilles. That's sad. I was looking forward to seeing the Warriors healthy, seeing the little pieces they added, and seeing it's just, seeing if they can make one more push. But my hot take is that the Golden State Warriors are done as far as we know them. I think not only I think that the 5 straight finals appearances have broken their bodies down. I think you will see, Steph start to, Steph always, kind of been injured a little bit. I think you'll see that moving forward. We've seen Draymond break down this past season. Klay is now towards Achilles coming off of an ACL. I don't know how you really come back from that and be effective like you once was. It's unfortunate what's happened to the Warriors, but I think those 5 straight finals appearances have put a fork in them. I think we're done seeing the Golden State Warriors.
All right. Could see the end of a dynasty out in Golden State. Chris, we'll bring it home to you. Give me a hot take on the NBA.
I mean, you talk about a hot take right there. I mean, we're going to really dive in to the Klay Thompson injury, how it's going to affect it, but we see how Coach Cam thinks about that. My hot take, I couldn't talk about that team behind me, but I'm going to do that later too. Don't worry. I have a lot of hot takes for them. But my hot take is that the Atlanta Hawks will be a top 5 seed in the East next year, and they're going to be one of the best teams to come for the next couple of years. And let me tell you why. I thought they were going to mess up their draft pick. I did. I honestly thought they were going to blow it by them drafting my guy, center out of USC, Onyeka. This guy reminds me of Bam Adebayo to the fullest, the defense, the offense. And this is why. This team has over $40 million in cap space. You got to think about it. They're not held on cap. They have over $40 million in cap space. They have a guy named who? Clint Capella, who a lot of contending teams need a guy like this. You talking about the Celtics. You talking about the Clippers. Who knows? They could definitely throw a package together and go get a Paul George, because I promise you, I'd rather take Clint Capella over Paul George for the Clippers any day and build that roster just around Kawhi. Yes, you're making that face. I don't like them together. I'd rather have a very good point guard, some shooters, Kawhi, and a good big man than Kawhi and Paul George, because I want the ball in Kawhi's hands at the end of the game, not PG brick team. But listen, the point being is this Hawks team is going to be dangerous. They're young. They have a lot of good young players. I mean, they're starting 5. You're talking about the foundation on the team. They have $40 million plus in cap space. If they get the right veterans around them, with the Eastern Conference falling apart, because I don't see the Pacers in there. I don't see the Raptors being the same team. That leaves room for people like who? The Hawks. Everybody knows how I feel about the Wizards, but they did some things last night I cannot agree with. But the Hawks, best believe the Hawks are going to be one of the best teams in basketball in the next 5 years, and they're going to be a top 5 or 6 team in the East this year. Mark my words, you heard it first here.
Ladies and gentlemen, somebody turn the AC on. Chris Brown dropping the hot takes today. Whoa!
They're top 5. Wow.
That's a lot of confidence in that Hawks team for you.
A lot of confidence in the Hawks team, and just seeing all these teams about to fall apart, and they're in the right direction, man. I mean, drafting that guy. Now, like I said, you can trade away Clint Capella. You know how many teams would give up a lot of picks and players for Clint Capella, a center that can give you a double-double, a center that can defend the rim, a center that can run the break. This dude, to me, I mean, I'm not saying he's one of the best centers, but how the way the NBA is playing right now, he's one of the best fits for a lot of contended teams that need a center. So if they want to, they can go get a lot of decent players on their roster this year if Onyeka is ready.
We've definitely mentioned a lot of teams that are in desperate need of a big man, and I'm sure it's still the same way after the draft. Could definitely use somebody like Clint Capella on a lot of teams. But speaking of big men, I'm going to go with a hot take with the fact that for the first time in 5 years, a big man will win Rookie of the Year this season. I think that the big men were kind of drafted in better spots for them to succeed, whether it be Wiseman, whether it be Okongwu, whether it be Obi Toppin. I think we're going to get to a point in which I really like the big men in this draft. I think it's going to be a big man heavy success rate for this draft class. I think it's going to be a little bit more than it is for the backcourt. And so do I have a name yet right now? I don't know. No, I do not. I can't name drop one on you right now, but I think a big man will find a way to win for the first time since the 15-16 season when Karl Anthony Towns won over in Minnesota. So Before we get into the draft, let's talk about something we've already mentioned as of right now. Coach Cam hinted to it a little bit in the Warriors take. Klay Thompson is going to be out for this season with a season-ending Achilles tear. Desperately, or I shouldn't say desperately, but it's a desperate need now, I guess, at a shooting guard position for the Golden State Warriors. I tell you what, this is going to be a big piece to lose yet again for Golden State. Freddie, I'm going to start with you. What does this injury mean for Golden State?
Man, it really hurts your feelings, hurts your heart, because you was anticipating the Golden State Warriors to be in the mix of everything. You was predicting for them to go on another run this year, because Steph is back, Clay's back from the ACL injury, and then a month before the season about to start, this dude towards Achilles. Man, that's just heartbreaking right there. Let's take the injury away, but let's just say what did that do to somebody mentally, man? Clay's a dog. I'm pretty sure when he'll recover from this, he'll get back to work from this. But like Coach Cam said, Achilles injury is hard to come back. We have not seen nobody really fully come back from an Achilles injury. We just haven't. I wish the best of luck to him. We're praying for him to have a speedy recovery. I seen that they got Kelly Oubre from a trade. I don't think that's your answer for a starting lineup. I think you need a shooter at that shooting guard position. You talking about putting Andrew Wiggins at the 2. You got. If I was the Warriors, I'll put a trade package together for the Pelicans to get a JJ Redick with a Steph Curry and JJ Redick on backcourt. You can get a Wayne Ellington back there. You want to space the floor. You put Andrew Wiggins at the 2, it's not the spacing's going to be off, and you ask Steph Curry to do too much. That's not a good move at all. For a bench player, that's a good move because that dude's a dog. But starting wise, yeah, it's not a good move at all.
You talk about for Steph Curry asking to do too much. You want to talk about a guy who is not going to be able to step into the same role that Klay Thompson did. That'd be Andrew Wiggins. It's definitely nowhere near the same profile of player. But Coach Cam, you already hinted at it a little bit on your feelings of Klay. Let's get your full opinion. Let's see what all you think of the injury.
Like I said, I don't think the Warriors make the playoffs. I know a lot of people, still got them in at the bottom. I just don't, man. Klay is a huge part of that team, and people don't understand how much he is valuable to that team because Steph is there. Meanwhile, remember, Klay didn't start last year. Klay didn't start the season last year. Guess what happened? You seen Steph try to do it all on his own. Guess what happened? Injury. Then you get Draymond. Injury. It's a trickle effect because of the system they run. When you're systemized like that, as a team, when one person is taken away from that system, it's trouble. And you've seen it happen before, even when Steph would go out. And you've seen KD and Klay play together, and they didn't always win in the regular season. It was kind of like, But I'm telling you, the Warriors are not going to make the playoffs, guys. We're starting to see Steve Kerr have to really, 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 really dig down and coach this bunch. Now, I understand they was injured last year, but it's no way that the Golden State Warriors should have had the number 2 pick in the draft. Let's be serious now. When this came time that Steve Kerr had to actually coach, like really, really coach, we seen what happened. I'm sorry. I think Steve Kerr's a good coach, but to put him on this pedestal, you had the best team in the league. I'm sorry. This is a huge blow. It hurts them defensively. Then the court is now not as spaced as it once was. I like Oubre, but I'm telling you, this is not a playoff team. Draymond Green, his production year after year has gotten worse and worse and worse. I don't see this group as a playoff team. And actually, I go as far as to say this. I'm willing to put money on it that this is not a playoff team. That's how confident I am. After what I saw last year from them and Steve Kerr, I'm talking about before Steph went out, Chris. I know you're giving me that crazy space. I'm talking about before Steph went out, before Draymond was hurt, before D'Angelo Russell was traded. They was getting slacked by 30 and 40, and Steve Kerr looking over there clueless, not having no clue what to do. I'm just saying, I see about maybe 38 to 42 wins, and they on the outside looking in.
Hey, Coach Cam, before you get done with that hot take, I want you to say, and you can book it.
Hey, you can book it. I'm willing to put money on it. Golden State Warriors ain't making the playoffs without Klay Thompson.
Chris, I couldn't tell if you were about to cry or vomit or what exactly that facial expression was. So please explain yourself.
That means this facial expression means if I was face to face with this dude, face to face with him and Freddie, couldn't tell you what I'd do because that take was disgusting. I mean, you're saying they're not going to make the playoffs. Let's look who made the playoffs last year who's not going to make it. Houston Rockets. We can all agree if they don't get traded, they're sitting out. Rockets won't be in the playoffs. The Thunder, they're not going to be in the playoffs. You look at who didn't make the playoffs last year. Okay, the Phoenix Suns, we all believe they're going to get in there. You think the Grizzlies right now are better than the Warriors?
Yes.
I would say so.
Ooh, you think the Spurs better than Warriors?
No.
Yes.
Well, you know what? Maybe, Chris. I'm telling you. Okay, I'm gonna ask you one question. I'm gonna let you finish your take. Did you have the Warriors in the playoffs last year before all the injuries? Did you?
Yes.
Now, did you know that Steph? Did you know that Steph before Steph injured? I know it was only 4 games, but did you know they was 0-4 when Steph broke his wrist?
Tell them how many games they played again.
I'm just saying they were 0-4.
Say how many games? How many games did he play before he's out for the year? How many games?
He played the 4.
Okay,
but they were 0-4.
4 games is going to project your season. 4 games.
They were looking. Chris, you know how they were looking.
You know how many championship teams we seen the Heat when LeBron and them got there playing like trash when they first got there.
They were never 0-4, Chris. Never 0-4. Never looked this bad to start the season. Never in life. No.
Hey, but that Spurs team is better than Golden State right now. I would say that. You still DeRozan, still LeBron.
All right. Bye, Freddie. Let me finish my take before you say some more dumb things. All right, listen. This is why I'm not giving up on the Warriors. This is why, I will say this. Their bench is trash right now. Getting Kelly Oubre. Now, I know he's not going to be Klay Thompson, but at the end of the day, when Freddie said, the spacing, I understand spacing is important. But damn, you don't got to shoot threes every single time down the court to be a competitive basketball team. You do not. They're going to adjust. This system is going to adjust. Steph Curry is still a knockdown shooter. Okay? Don't act like Draymond Green can't be the playmaker and Steph Curry can't come off double screens like he was doing year after year after year with and without Klay. Okay? Kelly Oubre, Andrew Wiggins, no, they're not the shooter of Klay Thompson, but what can they do? They can slash. What can they do? They can knock down mid-ranges. The system is just going to adjust. Ladies and gentlemen, I think everybody thinks you have to live and die by the three-point line to be successful. People forget the Warriors were more than just a three-point team when they won the championships. Now, yes, they were the best three-point shooting team, but they can kill you attacking the basket. They can kill you at the mid-range. They can kill you at the defense. So that's what I think this team is going to pick up on. Not saying they're going to be as good, as they were if they would have had Klay. But damn, they're not going to not make the playoffs. This team is still going to be competitive. They're still going to be one of the best defensive teams in the league. And I do see James Wiseman stepping up. His role is going to be so much bigger. He's going to be looked towards to score more, which I personally think he by far has the ability to. Not just running a break, he's going to get so many points. Offensive rebounds, he's going to get so many points. People trying to double Steph off a pick and roll, he's going to get so many points. People helping off everybody, he's going to get so many points. James Wiseman is going to flourish. And I'm a firm believer Steph Curry is going to make a strong case to win MVP. Somebody said, people are going to look at him more. They're going to try to even when he had all those guys around him, people still try to guard him as hard as they can. I mean, when you have any superstar, don't matter who's on your team, the defensive coverage are going to be more leans towards you. Does that mean anything? Does defensive coverages really stop superstars? It might slow them down, but they're still going to get theirs. Steph Curry's going to make a push for MVP. And right now, I wouldn't be surprised if this dude I see your hand, Freddie. I ain't done talking. Okay.
I
don't got to hurry up because you talk too much. So I'm going to talk as much as I can. Listen.
Being delusional.
How am I being delusional? Steph Curry trying to win MVP is not delusional?
What you're missing the point, Chris. You're missing the point. When
the
was
point,
do
the
you
point
think-
is they're making the playoffs. Not saying
do
they're winning
you
a
think-
championship, but they're
Do
making
you
the playoffs.
do you think Steph Curry is going to last 72 games without getting hurt this year?
Nope.
Yeah, okay. He gets hurt 1 year, misses the season.
No,
Now
it's
the
not
dude-
1 year.
No,
It's not 1
Chris,
year,
come
Chris.
on.
So he missed. Okay, so you mean to tell me this dude gets hurt every year for 30 plus games? For 30
He
plus
gets
games.
hurt for at least 15 to 20 games. Yes, he
A
does,
year.
Chris. Come
Okay,
on now.
15 to 20. Okay, 15 to 20. So
You
what?
think this team
All
can
these
afford
superstars
that?
be missing 15 to
This
20.
team cannot afford that without Clay and KD.
We're just gonna have to wait and see. Damn, I mean, you act like you on this team know everything. How you know Andrew Wiggins' game didn't improve because he's in a better system with a better coach? How you know Kelly Oubre game's not going to improve with a better system and a better coach? Free agency isn't over. They can still trade players. Y'all saying, oh, because Clay hurt, they're going to be so trash. I'm not saying they're win a championship, but damn, you counting out Steph Curry, you counting out Draymond, you counting out everybody because one player got hurt. I understand how
No,
big
not
the
just
he
one
was.
player.
No.
No, not just one player, Chris.
So with Klay Thompson, they weren't going to make the playoffs.
You talking about the best 3-and-D guy that's your best, arguably your best defender on your team. Steph Curry didn't have to go James Harden.
That's one player, though, right? That's one
didn't have-
player.
He didn't have to go.
It's a
Now,
huge piece.
now he's
I
going
know
to be
it's
the
a
power
huge
now.
piece. I know it's a huge piece. I'm not saying they're winning the championship, guys, but I'm saying that with all these bottom teams in the West, they're going to compete to make the playoffs. And if you really don't, I just don't understand. If everybody
I
healthy,
think the Kings are better than them this year. Will be better than them this year.
Okay, my thing. I know it's a small sample size. I understand it's a small sample
the
size.
Kings,
But you
the
tell-
Kings. Hold on. The Kings. What if the Kings ever showed you that they would actually make the playoffs? The year they were the best.
Kings.
The year they had their best season, they traded away their coach. Come on now.
Mhm.
I'm talking about
You just said no, Freddie. If you
Fox,
said
you have Buddy Hill, you have Bagley, you have the kid. who drafted last
Freddie,
night.
this team had so many better players, and when they were on a roll, winning games, one of the best teams in the West, they traded their head coach. So if you
That's
want to
in
tell
the
me the
past. I'm
Kings,
talking about right now.
so you mean to tell me what's his name? Old boy that can't coach.
Luke
Luke
Walton, he's not a bad coach, Chris.
Think
You
he's
need
better coach?
Oh,
than-
he's terrible.
He's
He's
a better
terrible,
coach than
Freddie.
Steve Kerr.
I'm
Luke
not saying he's a
Walton's
better.
terrible.
I'm not saying he's a better coach than Steve Kerr, but have you seen that the coach from New Orleans on that roster now, Alvin Gentry? He's assistant coach. So guess what? Now
Overrated.
He have
Thank you, Coach. This dude don't know. Coach Cam, talk to me. I'm not
He's
talking
not
to him.
overrated.
Coach Cam, talk to me. Let's have a conversation.
Alvin Gentry's over. Oh God, I hated when people said Alvin Gentry. I remember when Alvin Gentry left to the Pelicans, and everybody was like, "Oh, that's a big
And they ain't won
assistant coach
nothing.
loss." It's
he
not.
just dealt a bad hand. He had to worry
How was
about
he dealt a
injuries.
bad hand?
Injuries. If you mean
No.
Anthony
I
Davis
looked
getting
at
hurt,
Alvin Gentry last year, and I looked at his rotations. Not playing Lonzo Ball in fourth quarters.
Thank you.
Taking Zion out, not letting him finish game.
Thank you.
All this type of stuff. No, like
that-
Alvin Gentry was an overrated coach. He had Steve Nash in Phoenix for that 1 year that they was good. Outside of that, what has he really done?
Thank you.
What has
Thank
Alvin Gentry
you,
done
Coach
in this
Cam.
league?
Not
He
talk
told
to me.
Golden State. They still
Okay,
won't make it down
Freddie,
Golden State.
I'm not having this conversation with you, Coach Cam. Let's go back to the conversation we was having, the more productive one. Coach,
You
tell me what you was
booking.
saying. I ain't booking nothing. You say you delusional. Come on, Coach Cam.
Okay, my
You the
thing
one
is that
that
I know
won
it was a
playoffs.
small sample size,
Mhm.
but without Clay,
Yeah,
5 games, right?
yeah.
Curry, 20 points, 5 rebounds, 6 assists, 40% shooting, 24% from 3.
Mm-hmm.
It's a lot of pressure. Like, look, the way Curry play, coming off screens, this, that, and the third, like I said, they played a lot of games over the 5 years. Everybody is not, I'll say it, everybody is not LeBron James. Everybody's not built like him.
100%.
To keep going year after year after year. You're going to
100%.
start seeing these guys hit a down slope. I'm sorry to say it. I'm not saying
I'm not
Steph's gonna be
disagreeing.
bad.
I ain't disagreeing with you.
I'm just saying he's not going to be the 30-point MVP Steph. He's not that anymore. That's what I'm saying. Injuries has caught up. He's not that anymore. And the biggest thing with Warriors is strength in numbers, right? That's how Warriors got started.
This one I agree with you on this.
They
had
don't
no
have
bench.
no
They don't have
numbers.
no bench.
And when you don't have no numbers, you're in
They don't have no
trouble. And
bench
that's
at
why
all.
I feel like they come up short.
Hey, Coach Kim, I'll
Finally,
take it
something
a
that
step
made
further.
sense. Finally,
I'll take it a
something that
step
made
further.
sense.
I'll take it a step further. We know Steph gonna last the full season. We can just look at the previous years. He's just not. I will sit him down for another year and get another good draft pick. And when Clay come back, I will reboot it back again and rerun it again.
That's terrible. Wow.
They went on 5 straight. They won what 5? We went on 5 championships in a row. Whatever. Their bodies are tired. They need to rest.
LeBron don't need to rest.
He's built different.
But I'm saying there's no way Steph Curry is going to say I want to take a year off. There's no way Draymond says I want to take a year off to wait for Klay Thompson.
They're not going to say that, but that's probably the best thing to do.
They already took their year off. These guys want to hoop. Listen to them talk. Listen to their interviews. Listen what they say. They're not trying to take another year off.
Yeah, they
want to.
They already missed almost a year, Freddie.
Come on now. These guys not taking no year off. That's only for people that don't love sports, that have no competitive fire. That's saying, yeah, I just want to keep sitting until my guys healthy. I just want to keep sitting until my. That's what you just said.
No, I did not. No, I did not. I guess we'll whoop it like this. Let them play the 72 games and. Hey, they'll be done anyway because they're not going to the playoffs without.
Okay, then they still going to get a decent pick or can make a decent trade. Regardless, these guys are not going to sit 2 years when they're in the back end of their prime, missing out in another year. They're not going to do that. That just makes no sense.
No, it makes great sense.
All right, guys.
All right. Yeah.
Hold on, this is the last question. Coach Cam, you played any sports?
Yes, basketball.
Would you have sat out if one of your teammates was hurt? Just wait until he gets healthy.
You're missing a point, Chris.
Okay. I know what you said, Chris. I know what Freddie is saying. But coming off of where the Warriors hasn't played since March, man. All right, that's like 9 months, Freddie. When they come back, they're gonna play. Steph's gonna play. Draymond's gonna play. They missed the game. You know,
I know they're going to play.
They're going to play. You can't sit.
No grown man is going to say, I want to sit out another season until we get a better pick.
Now, if they start to be bad, I can start seeing a sprained foot turns into 3 weeks and things like that. But
they're going to give it a shot. They're not going to trade for Kelly Oubre if they're not trying to give it a shot. That's all I'm trying to say. But we can move on because I can't deal with this dude. I'm ready to go listen to Gucci Mane.
All right. Well, let's stop talking about the Warriors for a minute. Everybody's got a hot conversation to have about that one, man. I think everybody that really kind of spiced up the episode a little bit. So let's go to last night. Let's talk about the NBA draft a little bit. Let's start at the top. Let's go number 1, round 1. Anthony Edwards to the Minnesota Timberwolves. I need reactions from all of you. I'm going to start with Coach Cam. What was your reaction when Anthony Edwards got taken at 1?
It didn't surprise me. It's just that I'm not picking the guy number 1 that doesn't love the game. I'm gonna say it over. I'm gonna keep saying it. Because the people that love the game, that has the talent like Anthony Edwards, turn into your greats. Like, you know what I mean? Like this is how MJ became great. LeBron become great because they love the game. They love working on their craft. And then, KD become great because they love looking at holes and saying, you know what, in the offseason, I'm going to work on that to make sure I make it my strength for the next year. When you got a guy that don't really love the game like that, they're not going to, on days where they don't feel like it, they're not going to put in the work. There's nothing that I don't care how hard anybody else works around you, you have to want it for yourself. And to hear him come out and say, if I had a chance at football, I would leave basketball in a heartbeat. I can't pick that guy number 1. I'm sorry. I would have went LaMelo Ball, or I would have tried to trade it for a player or something. I would not have picked Anthony Edwards. I'm not saying he's not going to be good. He has the talent to walk on the floor and get you 18. That's what type of talent he is. But far as when you pick number 1, you want that player to eventually transcend into greatness. And I don't see that when you don't love the game.
Chris, we'll go to you. What do you think about Edwards going at 1?
No, so as a guy that competes in all sports, I understand what Coach Kim says. If you don't have that fire, I mean, you're not going to want it. If you want to be great and you have that fire, you're ultimately going to be great. That's why we see Michael Jordan be Michael Jordan. That's why we see LeBron come out to be LeBron. That's why we see all these young superstars in the game right now becoming so great because they have that fire. So, obviously that's a question. This dude doesn't have the fire. How will he pan out? But I think, looking at the positive, look at the bright side, I think this is a perfect fit for them. They have D'Angelo Russell. D'Angelo Russell is a scorer, a playmaker. But what do you need next to him? A dog. If you're going to have a guy like that, more of a finesse guy, then you need a dog right next to him. Anthony Edwards, to me, has the ability to be a guard. A dog. at that guard position, he can score at all three levels. He can get his own shot. Doesn't need nobody else to pass him the ball. He's very athletic. He can really become a very, very good two-way player, like a Jimmy Butler, in that defensive end if he wants it, because he has all the tools and the ability to do so. I mean, I think it was a perfect fit and a perfect draft pick. I really like Anthony Edwards. When the draft was coming, closer and closer and closer, I was really looking at it like, man, there's just no way I see them having two finesse guys in the backcourt with no real defenders out there. They're going to want to take a step forward, get better. Now, this is a bad comparison because he didn't pan out to be how great as he could be. But when I think of Anthony Edwards, I'm like, man, like you had this in Andrew Wiggins. Like you had Andrew. I don't know if y'all remember. Andrew Wiggins was really supposed to be one of the best players in the game right now, and everybody questioned his motor. And we're going to see this year with a different system, a different coach, what his motor really is. But Andrew Wiggins, his potential now is still through the roof, and that's how I think of Anthony Edwards. I think if he wants it, this dude can be all-star in a couple of years. I mean, that's how talented he can be. But it's a matter of if he wants it, if he's going to put the work in, and how the system is going to be at the Timberwolves. Because right now, I mean, they made some improvements last night, and they made a great improvement with number one pick getting Anthony Edwards out of Georgia.
Freddie, I'll bring it to you. What are your final thoughts on Edwards at 1?
Coach Cam, say your favorite line for the people.
What can go wrong will go wrong.
And if you have to question if he's going to give it his all, then it's a problem. You draft this dude number 1, and he's already saying that he's not all the way invested. He'd rather play football than in the basketball. So when you have people have their mindsets already set like that, like Coach Cam said, when the dog days come, everybody know them dog days of the NBA come, he's not going to want to give it his all. So why would I, as a franchise, invest my number 1 pick into you and draft you, and you're not going to give it your all, when I can use that pick on a LaMelo Ball to sell tickets? I can use that pick to trade for maybe a Bradley Beal to come in there. I know what he's going to do, and I give me 30 a night and give me his all. That's all I'm saying. You have, if you're going to be drafted that high, they picked you to be that star for that franchise. And if he's already questioning it, he don't have that dog mentality in him.
I kind of like where both Chris and Cam, well, actually all three of you really, all three of you kind of hit the nail on the head whenever you're mentioning something. I really respect the idea that Chris said, because whenever I look at Anthony Edwards, I think this guy's the all-around guy. I think if he wants to be there, he'll make it happen. I think this is the true number 1 if he really had that grit and grind to him. But that's where I kind of lay away from the pack, similar to what Coach Cam said. I mean, it's kind of hard to take a guy 1-1 when he doesn't have that grit and grind. If that's not even the sport he wants to play, then do you want that guy to be the lead guy? I think it's a great addition next to D'Angelo Russell, and I think it'd be a great third guy out there in Minnesota. But it's all about making it happen, because there's one thing that I know as playing sports, coaching, playing, whatever it may be, the worst thing about playing is losing. And if this team starts losing, if you don't have that grit and grind or the fire and the passion behind you to be taking L's, if Minnesota can't turn it around and start becoming a winning franchise, it might kind of make some question marks for Anthony Edwards. Chris, I see you looking at me. What's up?
I just want to say one thing. Everybody's talking about this grit, this grind, if he has it, if he doesn't have it. If he didn't have any type of grit and grind in him, he wouldn't be where he's at right now. And Coach Cam, I know you're shaking your head, but you as a coach know you could be talented, but you have to work hard to get to this next level. I know a lot of talented guys right now that are very talented that didn't work hard to get to that next level. So I understand he made those comments. I understand he said if he had a chance to play football, he'd play football. But I think people just need to give him just a tiny bit of respect, the fact that he worked hard enough to become the number 1 overall draft pick. It's not easy. It's not easy. And don't act like he didn't show it. Coach, I know you're going to have a great thing to say. I'm probably going to agree with you. But I just want people to respect the fact that, listen, he worked hard to get to where he's at right now. Yes, last night you told me he only played a game for what the game can do to him. But listen, let's wait and see how his career turns out. He has all the upside. He has all the tools. He showed he worked hard to get here. For the first year, I'm giving this man the benefit of the doubt. Now, if he shows that he is like that, a little lazy, little lackadaisical, then I'm gonna understand what you say and I'm gonna eat my words. But until then, I'm going to give this young man, the credit he deserves. Being the number 1 draft pick, Dan that deserves, and that demands some hard work. He got there and he did that.
Coach Cam, did you have a point to add to that?
Yeah, it's a different sport, and I'm not saying it'll be this, but Jamarcus Russell did enough. He worked hard enough to get to the NFL. He had all the skills, could throw the ball on his knee 60 yards, make all the throws you wanted to make, got the cheese, and then all of a sudden, he started working hard. He started working hard. Now, I'll give Anthony Edwards a chance to see if he's willing to put in the work to become great. But I'm saying there's a lot of players that do just enough to do what to basically
to get
receive
there.
What the game is, what the game can give to them.
Did you think Jamarcus Russell was going to be the way he panned out before he was drafted?
I didn't think he would be that bad though. Not that bad to the point where they give him blank film and he said, "Yeah, I'm looking at blitz coverage."
That's crazy. But I'm just saying, give this young man, because he's my age, younger than all y'all. Just give him the benefit of the doubt for right now. He's 19, 18, he's still a teenager. He's not 30. All right, Freddie, go ahead.
I will say one thing: we cannot judge him for the first 4 to 5 years. We're gonna have to wait.
4 to 5.
The reason why I said it, he's gonna play good. He's gonna play good.
He's still in my take, ladies and gentlemen. Go ahead.
But when he get paid, then that's when we can judge him, because we all know when that dude cash out on that big payday, that's when we got to judge how they play out.
Okay, I gotta disagree because I compared him to Andrew Wiggins, and you still early on with Andrew Wiggins. It showed, and I think this is part of the reason why they traded for him. He shows that he shows up on big nights some nights, but then sometimes he's just an average player. So even if he gets the big payday, he can still show up on some nights and sometimes be an average player. So we're just going to have to wait and see. But I'm not waiting 4 to 5 years. I'm going to see what kind of pro he'll be in the first 1 to 3. His career, he can still improve his game, but the kind of pro he is, I'm going to be able to somewhat judge that in the first 1 to 3 years.
You got to wait till you get that payday. He's going to disappear.
I have nothing but respect and high hopes for Anthony Edwards at 1. Like I said, if this guy can show up and he is going to play that the way that we know he can play it, I mean, there's obvious reasons why he's being looked at as the number 1 overall pick. This could be, honestly, if he comes out to be the player that we think he could be, it could be a franchise changer for Minnesota. And maybe we can take that team off of the list of Coach Cam's famous saying. But until then, we don't know. So I guess it'll take some time to figure out what exactly we're going to do about Anthony Edwards at 1. So let's talk about, we had a little bit of mixed takes in there, whether or not we like the pick or you don't. So let's all talk about a pick we didn't like. Who do you think missed on their lottery pick? 1 through 14, what team really missed the ball? Freddie, I'm going to start with you.
Year after years after year after year. I mean, I feel bad because Phil Jackson's out of New York, man. They got Perry in there. They got some respectful people in front office in New York. Still will not get it right. The New York Knicks. Hey, the pick that they picked, he's a good cat. He's a good kid. He can play. Obi's not a bad pick at all. He's a great player. He's a wonderful player. But that's not what the Knicks needed. I mean, they needed a guard. Are you serious? They needed a guard, and they got another power forward. Are you serious? Another one. I mean, when they could have got a Cole Anthony, around that time. They could have got who's the shooter?
Could have went to Halliburton.
Halliburton. They could have got him. But you got another power forward. But are we surprised? No, it's the New York Knicks. Just like Coach Cam say, what can go wrong will go wrong. They'll find a way to mess it up. And I mean, now they're trying to go after Gordon Hayward. I mean, come on, y'all. Yeah.
Chris, I'll move to you. What team 1 through 14 do you think really missed the ball on their pick?
Now, I would never say normally. I will always disagree with Freddie. And now, but when they made that draft pick, it was the Knicks. But I told Freddie this team made moves that's going to free up more playing time for Obi Toppin, and somehow this dude still picked the Knicks. I don't understand. They let Bobby Portis go, Taj Gibson go. They're making more space for this guy, to be able to play. Their goal is to get a veteran point guard, which I understand. I think they should have moved up and still got Cole Anthony, but I don't think Obi Toppin was the messed up pick. I don't think they messed up that draft. I think he's going to be the guy for one of the guys for the future. Him and RJ Barrett. Now the team that did mess up their pick, I'm going with the Washington Wizards. Now everybody on this show, they heard me say Washington is going to be a playoff team, right? Y'all remember I said that, and I believed it. But when they drafted this dude, because they think everybody's going to be the next Luka, they think everybody's going to be the next Kristaps Porzingis. They drafted a guy that is great with the ball in his hands. You don't need that when you have John Wall. You don't need that when you have Bradley Beal. You need somebody that can spot up, catch the ball, shoot it. They don't need to take 50 dribbles to be effective. They don't need to catch the ball, have the ball in their hand all the time, running the pick and roll. That's what you have John Wall. That's what you have Bradley Beal for. I just do not agree with Dende. Dene, I don't want to screw it and butcher his last name. I think he can be a good pro. I think it was a terrible move. When I'm the Washington Wizards, you don't need a guy that his strengths are he's good with the ball in his hand. His strengths are he's great running the pick and roll. His strengths are he's great running the fast break. You need a guy where his strengths are he's good at catch and shoot. You need a guy where his strengths are he could be a 3-and-D guy type of guy in this league. To me, they dropped the ball with this pick. You could have got Aaron and Naismith shooting 52%, ladies and gentlemen, on 8.5 3 attempts per game. I thought he was the best shooter by far in the draft. That would have been a steal for them, but instead they drafted a guy who is his best strengths is a playmaker when you already have two guys that fill that role. I just don't understand that draft pick from the Washington Wizards.
Hey, Chris, I want to rebut on the Knicks part. Yes, I understand what you're saying. Yes, they got rid of a lot of the power force today, whatever. But it's still a guard-studded league. That's why I say that. Because you listen to still a star.
It's a get the ball in the basket type of league. If you can do that, it don't matter what position you are. Everybody just loves this guard thing, but it don't matter what position you are. If you can put the ball in the basket, you can put the ball in the basket.
Yeah, it's a star.
It's a lot of stars that play point guard, but there's a lot of great players at every other position. There's a lot of point guards that put up all these stats and don't win nothing. So it's a put the ball in the basket type of league. I don't care who's a star. I care about who's winning.
Coach Cam, we'll bring it to you. Who do you think really missed the mark 1 through 14?
I do hear, Freddie's take and everything like that. I do hear Chris' take. But a team that really had a chance to propel themselves, I thought, with this draft pick to possibly hovering around that 8th seed or maybe 9 or around there, at least getting that playoff, that play-in tournament. The Chicago Bulls.
I knew you were going to say it.
I think they blew the ball. I think they really dropped the ball here at 4. Picking Patrick Williams. I understand. He's a great defender. His upside is great. He's 6'8", nice wingspan. Is one of those Florida State players. Once again, they had 2 lottery guys. Shout out to Leonard Hamilton. They always talk about Duke, UK, and all these blue bloods. Florida State put a lottery cats in and year out. But Patrick Williams, it just doesn't seem like it just doesn't fit what I thought Chicago needed. And I thought that Obi Toppin would have been great at 4. A player of that nature. I just don't see where Patrick Williams can make an impact for you right away. Maybe he does. Maybe he proves me wrong. But, he doesn't space the floor. He can't shoot very well. I don't see how many minutes he gets. I don't even really see minutes for him. To me, it kind of reminds me of kind of like a Stanley Johnson pick where I just see him kind of fizzle out and be a bottom roster type of guy. I just at 4, I wouldn't have picked Patrick Williams that high.
That's actually kind of funny. He took the team I was going to go with. At number 4, I was also going to go with the Chicago Bulls. Chris, look at me funny all you want. This guy's a late riser, and I can tell you from experience, I've gotten the pleasure to sit inside Florida State, and I've gotten to see Patrick Williams play in person in college. Growing up, I grew up in Tampa, Tallahassee, not too far away. I've gotten to go up there for a couple sports trips and catch a few FSU games while I was there. This guy's a late bloomer. I mean, this guy really did skyrocket right at the end of right before the draft. A lot of intangibles that could see in his potential that a lot of people were very interested in. But whenever you're looking at it from a college numbers and everything, regardless of the mid-range shot and the defense, it leaves a little bit of question marks for me. The guy's profile is a 3-and-D guy, but it doesn't have a 3-point shot. It's going to be kind of awkward at number 4. I thought there was a lot of other names that they could have gone. I would have liked to see somebody like an Isaac Okoro. As Coach Cam mentioned, I would have liked to see somebody as an Obi Toppin. I just think there was a lot of names, especially at 4, that could have been picked before Patrick Williams, because I feel like Patrick Williams is more of a project. I feel like it's going to take a little bit more time to get that immediate impact, to that lineup. And for what the Bulls could be going for, I don't know if it's exactly the right pick. So at least that's fine. You're muted, buddy.
Can I rebuttal that just real quick? Yeah, I know, Freddie, because I don't have to hear you. This is my quick rebuttal to that Chicago pick. At first, I was, on the draft show, me and Coach Cam both shook our head. We hated the pick. But then I had to sit back and think. I'm like, okay, first of all, just shout out to Florida State. They're always putting out pros. And then when I look at a guy like Jonathan Isaac, right, late bloomer, but his upside, right, if he didn't get injured in the playoffs, I think he was really going to put his foot in the door and tell people who he really is. A guy, his defense is there. Yes, his offense has to improve, but you look at the Chicago Bulls starting lineup, right? In my opinion, you're going to have Kobe White. You're going to have Zach LaVine. They re-signed Otto Porter Jr., so you don't have to have this guy come in and right away be the starter, right away and have to give you instant offense. Let him come in right now and show why he can be a very, very good defender. Let his offense come to him. I think this team is young, trying to get better, not trying to win right now. Coach Cam, I do agree with you. Maybe if they did draft a different guy, they could have made a push for the AC. But I think right now, I think he wasn't a bad pick. I think there were I'm not going to lie. I was shaking my head, pissed off. But the more I sat down and thought about it, I'm like, there's teams that could have been made way better picks. I don't think he was a terrible pick. Like, I think the Washington Wizards pick was. He probably wasn't the best pick, but his dude upside is going to be good, and he can bring value to this team moving forward. That's my quick rebuttal.
Yeah, I just don't agree with picking a guy 4.
And I understand
you have to wait on, or that you got to spoon feed minutes.
I'm with you. I don't agree with that at all. But I like the player. That's the only reason why I can kind of look past it. I do. We all saying Obi Toppin. We send all these different guys to this ball club. No, he's not the best guy. No, you should not draft a guy in the top 5 that you have to wait years and years for his production. We're just gonna have to wait and see. But when it happened live, man, I wanted to throw my headphones. I can't lie to you.
Yeah, that was shocking.
All right, so we've hit that. We've hit a couple of picks so far. Let's go back to a team that was picking in the top 3, the Charlotte Hornets. At number 3, they took LaMelo Ball, and now they have a couple other draft picks throughout the night. And now we're looking at a very, very young Charlotte Hornets team. I'm going to start with you, Chris. What do you think on the future of the Charlotte Hornets after last night's draft?
I mean, listen, you did right with the number 3 pick now. I didn't think they were going to end up getting – no, I will say this. I thought LaMelo was going to go to number 2 after the news with Klay Thompson. But now, you drafted LaMelo. What LaMelo's going to bring is box office. There's already been reports saying that, fans are so much excited. Everything, they're getting a lot more buys. It's just so much excitement with the Charlotte Hornets, right? So I love LaMelo. I think he's a great guard. I think he has the best upside right now in this draft, to be honest with you, because his offense is there, but I think it can improve, which is scary. Then once he becomes a better defender, it's only up. And then when I look at their roster, I said, okay, they don't really need a guard. They need a center. And they went out and they made a very, very, very sneaky good draft pick in the second round. They went out, they got the center from Duke. He's going to answer a lot of their questions, not all, but a lot of their questions. He's going to be able to defend, rebound, and run the floor. When they drafted, we all said, but their starting center is Cody Zeller. Then it paused because, no offense to Cody Zeller, you're good enough to be in NBA, but you're not a guy for the future when you look at this team. So I think the center from Duke, he's going to be a guy that can answer those questions. I do think I'm not Steph Curry. I do think LaMelo Ball is going to be able to have that immediate impact. Terry Rozier is most likely going to get traded. You're going to have a backcourt of Malik Monk if he can step up. If not, he might be looked to get traded away. You're going to have Graham, LaMelo, and then you're going to have those 3 guys dominate. They need some defense, but for a young team, the future is bright for them.
Freddie, I'll move to you. What do you think about the future for the Hornets?
Like Chris said, they need defense. LaMelo's good. LaMelo's a box office piece. He's a guy that's going to get there, and whenever the time comes where they can fill the stands, people are going to go see him. I refer to just like Lonzo. The Lakers drafted him just for a business move. Now, LaMelo, he can play. He can pass. He can probably pass the ball better than Lonzo, and which is crazy because Lonzo's one of the best.
No. Get ahead of yourself.
I don't know. I don't
Don't
know.
get ahead of yourself now.
He could probably pass that ball better than Lonzo. He still wants. I think he's still going to work on the shot. I'm not sure the shot's going to be able to work in the game, just like Lonzo. I mean, you got to develop it. He's got to work on the defense too. I mean, he's not a good defensive player at all. But I mean, hey, I just want to point this fact out. Look who drafted the Ball brothers: Irvin Magic Johnson and Michael Jordan, two of the greatest players to play the game. This dude is going to be box office. I mean, hey, Hornets they got to get rid of a lot of those the guards, for sure, because
I just want to say one thing. Shout out to LaMelo for getting drafted, but man, shout out to LeVar Ball. This dude said he's going to have his sons be, Coach Cam, if this was something you're going to say, I apologize, but it's just been something in my mind. People need to give LeVar Ball his credit. They want to say, oh, he talks a lot. So what? This dude provides for his sons. He gives his sons confidence. He got 2 sons right now. The only 2 brothers to be drafted top 5, really top 3. Let's be honest, top 3. And like Freddie said, drafted by Michael Jordan and Magic Johnson. Michael Jordan, no, he's not going to be in the day-to-day thing, but what Michael Jordan is, he's going to come down every while and say, I destroy you if I was in my A-day. Hey, you need to do this, you need to do that. When you get drafted by somebody of Michael Jordan's stature, I'm not saying he's going to sit there and tell you what to do every day. But you would call me crazy if I don't think he told Devontae Graham some pointers. He saw Devontae Graham flourish this year. I believe he said some things to him. I'm not saying he coached him, but I'm saying you got an owner that great of Michael Jordan. It's a great move when you got a guy that's the potential for this dude is crazy, man. He's going to be better than his brother. LeVar said it, and I believe it. He's going to be better than Lonzo.
Can we all agree when the next All-Star game comes, we want to see LeVar versus Michael Jordan? We want to. Hey, that got to be an All-Star weekend. We want to see it.
We already know who's going to win. We already know who's going to win.
Coach Cam will bring it home to you. What do you think on the Charlotte Hornets?
I'm always the best player available guy. Unfortunately, they couldn't get Wiseman. He was taken at 2. Edwards, took a number 1. Melo was sitting there for the taking. You had to take him. I think it's a good pick. Now you got to try to look at, if you're Charlotte, I'm looking at trying to move that Terry Rozier contract. I think things will get better for Charlotte if they can move that. And also, and this was a terrible signing years ago, but do you know Nick Batum is still on the roster making almost like close to $30 million a year?
The worst signing.
It's the worst contract and probably in sports. And so, once that falls off, and Terry Rozier, possibly you try to move him, that opens up some things. But Chris said, the Vernon Carey big man draft pick was good. I'll go even further with that. I like Nick Richards even better.
Talk about it.
Nick Richards from Kentucky. Now Vernon Carey is more of your scoring big man, kind of like a Jahlil Okafor type. But Nick Richards gonna defend that rim. He's a good rim protector. He was one of the premier shot blockers in college basketball, and I think that really helps them on the defensive end, on the back end. Looking back at it, I like what the Hornets did. They got some things to fix on their roster, but it's a good start for them.
I think whenever I'm looking at the Charlotte Hornets, it's the definition of the youth movement. I think this is going to be a big culture shock here with bringing in LaMelo Ball into Charlotte. I think this could really lead to a lot of big things for this organization if everybody can live up to their potential. Because these 2 big men that they brought in, as Coach Cam said, it's a great 1-2 punch whenever you're looking at it, because they are just 2 different players. And whenever you're looking at it, you got one guy who could eventually, if they hit their full potential, one guy who could start and play one way, and then you have that bench guy that completely complements the other way half. Whenever you bring in LaMelo Ball to complement somebody like Devontae Graham, I think it's going to be a great addition. If somebody can play some pretty tight defense there, that'd be nice. It's definitely going to be an offensive explosive backcourt, but it's going to come down to everybody hitting that potential, because this team is young. This team is ridiculously young, with guys like Mikal Bridges, with guys like Devontae Graham, Malik Monk, LaMelo Ball. I mean, the sky's the limit, really. I mean, it really is. If people can hit their ceiling, this team's going to be dangerous. It's just a matter of what can happen in Charlotte, because this is another one of those teams on Coach Cam's list that
I was about to say that too. Yes,
it really falls underneath that saying. It's one of those teams that it can happen. So let's talk about another team that is on that list as well, the New York Knicks. Let's talk about their future a little bit. I'm going to start with, you know what? I was going to start with Freddie, but I'm going to start with Chris just because he's shaking his head. He definitely doesn't seem happy in any way, shape, or form. So let's get this out of the way.
I was mad when they picked Obi Toppin because they had a lot of power forwards and small forwards. They got rid of some. What does that mean? Their future is going to be bright? Heck no. They still missing so many pieces. They still have terrible GMs. Who's the head coach? You know, Coach Cam? Who's the head coach of that team now?
Damn, I'm normally good at that.
Okay, Freddie said it, and I said
and that's terrible to me.
Thank you, because
that's
why.
Drive. Go ahead.
Because that's why what can go wrong will go wrong with a guy like him. He's a terrible coach in the NBA, in my opinion. So many other coaches that should have got opportunity before this guy. I think he's going to coach this team terrible. They're going to be yet again in the lottery again. You know, if I'm them, I'm just saying forget and trade for Russell Westbrook just to try to have yourself and win at least a couple of games. Because, I mean, listen, your future right now is not bright when you have no point guard. You have a whole bunch of 2, 3s, and 4s that all need somebody to facilitate the ball to them. Now, they had a chance to go get Chris Paul. They could have gave away a lot of picks to go get a Chris Paul, but they didn't do it. Obviously, I don't know. I don't think they want to win. I don't think they want the Madison Square Garden to be that again. I think they just want to be a bottom team. You know, I love Obi Toppin. I think this dude's future is bright. I love RJ Barrett. I think his future is bright. I think Mitchell Robinson is going to be a very, very good center in this game. And when I look at everybody else, I just don't know. I don't know with this team. I'm lost for words with this team. I feel bad for Knicks fans because yet again, they're going to be hot garbage. And they're two of their best players in the past couple of years, they both playing with the Mavericks right now. They just hot garbage right now. Terrible. This might be one thing we all agree on.
Freddie, I'll move to you. Do you agree with Chris here on that take?
Chris, it's so bad. We're going to start calling them the Cowboys Knicks. They're just like the doggone Dallas Cowboys. What you say again on Coach Cam? What can go wrong will go wrong.
Yes, sir.
I'm going to encourage the New York Knicks fans to stop going to Madison Square Garden for watching basketball. Go watch the concerts. Go watch all that entertainment. But stop watching them because they're putting hot garbage in front of you. This is a disgrace. One of the biggest media markets. Think how bad this is, you guys. The Brooklyn Nets is going to win a championship. They're going to win the championships, and they've been waiting for like 60 years.
Didn't you say they're not going to win anything?
Chris,
now they're going to win a championship.
Chris, I'm projecting they're going to win.
But you said why?
Well, I'll put it like this. They're going to be more relevant than the New York Knicks. Relevant than the New York Knicks. And I mean, come on, y'all. Like, could you guys imagine if KD would have went to the Knicks and then Kyrie would have went to the Knicks and Harden going to the Knicks? How the media would just explode? But it's happening in Brooklyn. It's like a few miles down the road. Oh man.
Let's wrap it out with Coach Cam. What do you think about the Knicks' future?
What future? James Dolan is the owner.
That?
As soon as if he's the owner, there's no future for the New York Knicks. He's alienated all the past veterans. You know, the Charles Oakley scene was ugly. That still is a visual in my mind. There's no future for the New York Knicks. The only way I see a decent future if they put all their chips in and get a Russell Westbrook. They need a star there. They need some excitement there. I'm not saying that's the complete answer, but then you turn yourself into a possible playoff team. You have to do something if you're the New York Knicks. You can't keep relying on draft picks. You definitely can't keep relying on free agency because guess what? You keep whiffing on that. And it's the reason why they're whiffing. Kevin Durant made a good point. I didn't grow up. When I grew up, the Knicks, what was the Knicks? They was all right, you know. Everybody think, oh, the New York, the mecca of hip-hop. Newsflash. You know, these young cats don't know nothing about the 70s when the Knicks were good. They don't know anything about Willis Reed when they were good. This is what they know about the Knicks. Jordan busting them. That's what they know about the Knicks. And they know about the the years of losing. That's what they know about the New York Knicks. So nobody's going there. I don't care if it's the Mecca or whatever. No one's going to the New York Knicks because, first of all, nobody's playing for James Dolan. That's first off. So until they have the owner, they have that owner there. There is no future for the New York Knicks.
I mean, Coach Cam, we're gonna keep it on you because you, my friend, are Mr. Reliable, aka Mr. Somebody that says the right things. I think this dude is a terrible owner. I don't think they'll never get anybody to sign there now. I do think the Nets right now are the best team in New York. And their future, even when KD and Kyrie leave, they'll still have a brighter future until James Dolan is not the owner anymore. I mean, if you have a guy that doesn't respect his legends, if you have a guy that shows he doesn't care about winning basketball, he just wants money, these basketball players aren't going to go there. And, and yes, you say these guys don't know the 70s. They might, and with the 90s, they only remember Jordan giving them work. They do remember the 2000s, what happened with Melo, the bad situation that happened then. So, I mean, exactly. This team has done nothing right to fix their wrongs, and they're going to continue to be bad. And it's just sad because nobody, every superstar says, well, playing in New York is still like playing in New York. It's not going to be that like no more. Now it's going to be playing in the Nets is live. Because I'm trying to tell y'all, the Nets is going to take over that scene with New York basketball, and it's just. And the Knicks could have changed it. It's not like they couldn't. They could have changed it year after year after year. But when it starts all the way up top, when you have an owner like that, I'm not even going to say what I was going to say. Freddie, go ahead.
Hey, they are going to get a star. They are pursuing Hayward very hard. Gordon Hayward.
And they going to sign him because they desperate for a free agent. They're going to sign it. And also, like Chris said with Thibodeau.
Power forwards.
What Chris said with Thibodeau. I mean, he's awful. He's an awful coach. He wears players into the ground, plays starters 40-plus minutes, don't use the bench. I mean, I don't understand. Some people I don't get. They get chance after chance for a job. And
he said it the best, man.
It just doesn't. It doesn't make you ruin Derrick Rose's career.
Thank you.
You come to Minnesota and you only get an 8 seed with Jimmy Butler, Cat, and Wiggins, and then you get fired from there because you done played your starters, you overplay your starters, and they got tired of him there, and then you get another job. I just don't understand. He's gonna do the same thing there. The Knicks are best. They don't have
it's just bad. This dude is a terrible coach. You keep recycling coaches that's showing you the same thing and that they can't win anything. And I know it's not going to change, but this dude is trash. He shouldn't be a head coach right now. What has he ever shown you that he deserves to be a head coach? But the one team that will hire the worst head coach possible will be the New York Knicks. And that's the last thing I have to say on that.
Yeah.
So, in my opinion, I think Freddie said it best whenever you should go pay your respects to Madison Square Garden, but don't do it by going to view this New York Knicks team. I mean, whenever you're looking at it, how do you keep taking big men? How do you keep taking members of your front court? Whenever you look at this team, you know exactly what you need. Know exactly what you need. Any casual fan, any serious fan, any diehard Knicks fan, anybody in the NBA that knows anything about basketball would tell you that you need a 1 or a 2. And you just keep missing. I mean, you just keep avoiding it. Like it's going to cause a problem if you go take somebody at the point guard position. And I just don't understand. I think that Mitchell Robinson and Obi Toppin would be a deadly combination if it were to work out. But is it going to work out? I mean, is it going to be one of those things to where is this going to be something that kind of is this going to be something that they're going to carry their team on? And then even if it is, I mean, can you really carry a team off a 4 and a 5? Where else are you going to get your scoring other than down in the paint? And it's going to be kind of awkward to see exactly what the Knicks are going to be doing. There's a lot of things to do at Madison Square Garden. Don't go watch the Knicks. There's going to be plenty of concerts, comedians, whatever it may be. Go see that instead.
Hey, this is a team that thought Frank Nikola, I can't say his dude's name.
Frank Nicolina.
Yeah, him. That he was supposed to be a star. That dude, as of right now, has turned out to be a bust. And I believe Phil Jackson is the one that drafted him, by the way, I believe.
Oh, and thank you, Knicks, trading Hardaway Jr. and Porzingis for get some Gatorade. jock straps, and cash considerations. Thank you. I appreciate
I
it.
mean, that's what they did. DeAndre Jordan out there and Dennis Smith. I mean, he's not getting opportunity he deserves. So the Knicks, when we talk about basketball teams from here on forward, real talk will not be talking about the New York Knicks. Put it like that.
There you go. Until they can prove to be a basketball team, ASAP Real Talk will deny the New York Knicks. Let's talk about a surprise factor here with the draft last night. What pick really surprised you in the lottery? What was the surprise lottery pick? A name that you may not have seen going in the top 14, but snuck his way in there. I'm going to start with Freddie.
We already talked about the dude because I thought LaMelo was going number 3. I had to go to state passed up on him. I didn't think they was going Patrick Williams. Chris and Coach Cam already touched on it. Not going to touch on it too long. But to me, I thought Chicago was needing, that attraction to the Windy City, to Michael Jordan's town, the box office, that they needed that playmaker. I know they have Kobe White and all them cats, but I think Melo would have done something different in Chicago. Because we don't know how long Zach LaVine's going to stay there. I mean, let's just face it. I mean, that dude's ready to win. I mean, these trade rumors to Philly and all this is out there for a reason. This dude wants to be on a team that's going to be competing for a championship. The Chicago Bulls, they're nowhere near it.
Coach Cam, I'll move to you. What shocking pick came in the lottery for you?
Shocking pick that came in the lottery for me. Not to say he didn't deserve it. I didn't think Jalen Smith would be in the top 10. I know that's Chris Guy. I know it's Chris Guy. I know it. And I was looking at other picks. I was gonna say Kira Lewis Jr., but everybody had him kind of going there to New Orleans. But Jalen Smith, I thought he'd be around anywhere from like 15 to 22-ish type range. I didn't think he'll be top 10, but it was a great pick by the Suns. I think he has a chance to be a good big man, especially in today's NBA.
Oh, we lost your mic there, Coach Cam.
Is that it? Can you hear me?
There we go. Yeah.
Sure.
Okay, so he can shoot. He could defend. Only Big Ten player that was first team all conference and all first team defense. So I think that's a good player for the Phoenix Suns. Though, even though I was just shocked that he went that high, but someone saw the value in him. So I thought it was a great pick.
Chris, I know you said that he took your guy. Do you have more to add, or do you have another name?
I mean, no, I'm sticking with it because when he got drafted, ask Coach Cam how hype I was on the show. I was hyped because I'm high on this dude. I had him going. I didn't think he would go number 10 only because, I thought, like Coach Cam said, he'd probably go to more towards 15, 18 range. Not because he isn't worth a top 10 pick, because I didn't know that the Suns were going to go in that direction. Would they draft? There was a guy that I thought they would trade a number 10 pick for. A power forward, say if he doesn't start in the beginning, I think him and DeAndre Ayton have a chance to be a very, very good, great young front court. You have a Chris Paul who's Mr. Set everybody up so easily that all they got to do is put the ball in the basket like that. Then you have Devin Booker, who's a guy that can get his own shot easily. He's turned into a better playmaker. So you get a Jalen Smith, a guy that's 15 to 10, a guy that can defend, a guy that shows he's versatile, and he can move on a break, that he can move on defense to offense, so he's not just going to be a stationary center that can't move with a pick and roll, a guy that showed they can stretch the floor out. I love this pick for the Phoenix Suns. I was so happy that this dude got drafted where he got drafted because he got drafted to a team that wants to win. But, Coach Cam, what can go wrong will go wrong. I think that this was a pick in the right direction. Even though I will say this, they have drafted some bad players, but I knew those guys were going to be trash. I like this dude right here. I think he's going to be great. And I'm surprised he went where he went, but I'm glad he went where he went.
To keep from beating a dead horse here, I'm just going to hang right off of what you two said. I mean, I was right there with Jalen Smith, too. I've heard Chris go on and on about this guy. I know he's high on him. But like we've said, we've seen him in mock reports anywhere from like 15 to the 20 range. So to see him make it all the way up to 10, I almost did a double take. I remember I was sitting there watching the show with y'all last, and I heard Jalen come out. I saw Chris's reaction, and it's exactly the reaction I thought. but it was just kind of shocking for me as well. It wasn't exactly the name I expected at 10. So let's go on to the second round here. We've talked a lot about the big names that have been going. Everybody knows those names. Let's talk about some gems that may be sitting in the second round that a team that may be picking later on will be very happy with. I'm going to start with you, Chris. What second round gem do you have for us?
Time to be a homer. Time to be a homer. My 76ers. And I'm going to get onto them later. We got a gem in the second round. We got a guy by the name of Isaiah Joe, guard 4 out of Arkansas. I mean, this dude right here is a knockdown shooter, scoring 15, 16 points, 40+% from the 3-point range his freshman year. He dipped down a little bit his sophomore year, but you got to understand the system he was in. Okay, he's a high-paced system. So what does that mean? When you got a guy like Ben Simmons running the break, when you got us trading away the players we did, I'm not going to dive into that now. I will later. But we needed shooters, and he was the shooter. One of the most underrated shooters in this draft, one of the most underrated scorers in the draft. With his size, being able to play multiple positions, I thought we got a steal because there's a lot of teams that need shooting. And when a guy is shooting 10+ threes with a high 3-point percentage, with a high free throw percentage, he's going to be a knockdown, steady shooter in the NBA. So the fact that we got him at 49 is a steal, and I love it.
All right, we'll move on to you, Coach Cam. Who is your second round steal?
Oh, man, my second round steal. I'm going full homer, too. It was part of the trade with Chris's 76ers. I like the pick Tyler Bay, the power forward out of Colorado. Nearly averaging a double-double at 14, 9.9 rebounds. He earned, defensive player of the year, in the Pac-12. It's something that we needed to do in the offseason. I think it started with the draft night, with the trade. I hate to see Seth go. However, we needed defensive versatility. And, Tyler Bay can give us that, in the front court. And also, he can knock down shots, man. He can knock down shots. He can step out and shoot the three a little bit. So I really think that, he can potentially help us, and be a decent rotation player, possibly right away, or if not right this year, but next year or something like that. Just because I know Dwight Powell will be coming back for us. We like Maxi Kleber. We got Dorian Finney-Smith, and there's several other pieces we have. So it'll be interesting to see how he fit in, but I think he really does fit in with what we're trying to do and get better defensively.
Freddie, I'll turn it to you. Are you going to home 3 for 3 on this one, or you have somebody else?
No, my pick is the young man out of Guardian. I'm trying to say his name. I don't want to screw it up. Mamadi Dakate. I done probably butchered it up. He averaged 13.6 rebounds in school. He shot 47% from the field. I definitely think that he can turn it up, especially off the bench. I don't think he'll be a starter, but off the bench, he can definitely bring you some offense. He can give you instant offense off the bench.
See, I was sitting there shaking my head because Coach Cam, I wanted to bring the good news to you. I wanted to say that Tyler Bay was my guy as well. I really like Tyler Bay whenever over in Colorado. I mean, the defense speaks for itself, and he's not exactly a shooter. He's not a shot creator much, but he was still averaging 14 points a game out there in college, which kind of shows you to the player that he can be to develop something or make something happen. But, man, whenever you look at this dude's defensive ability, I mean, he held I found a stat on there that he held opponents to shooting around 25% at the rim. I mean, it is right there, and he is still playing good defense, and he is not getting into foul trouble either. You think a guy who's going to be down there getting gritty and grindy, holding somebody back, he's still averaging only about 2 fouls a game. I mean, this lets you know that guy is getting on there, and he is playing solid defense. I mean, very well put together defensively, and if he can this guy's got unlimited potential as well. I think this would be something very interesting for Dallas. I think it's a great addition, and it'll be a nice move moving forward. I think this guy's got a lot of potential.
Hold on, Will. Nate is being Nate again. I mean, let me make it big for you guys to read. He's being Nate. You're not being great. I get the Knicks to get the Jets. Do you realize that my Giants team is not that bad? We're actually a good young team.
We're not talking about football right now. We're not talking about football right now, Freddie.
I'm just addressing the audience what he said.
Well, I tell you what, let's stick with basketball here. Let's talk about, we've talked about hits, we've talked about misses. Let's talk about an overall winner. Who was the overall winner of the draft? At least somebody. I'm sure there's multiple winners from this draft. Give me one off the top of your head. Well, you're already looking at him, Chris. I'm going to go to you.
Who won the draft? This is easy. And let me say this. This is the first time I will ever say, Freddie, you're shaking your head, but all I bring is facts and stats. This is the first time I will ever say the Sixers really won a draft. Freddie, you're shaking your head. I would like to hear what team made more improvements than we did. So let's talk about the picks we did get. Tyrese Maxey, point guard of Kentucky. This dude got cosigns from John Calipari. This dude got cosigns from LeBron. Let me tell you what he did on the court. He's giving you 14 plus on a game. Everybody wants to talk about his jump shot. His free throw percentage is there, and that's how you can tell in college if a guy is going to become a good shooter. Then he has a good jump shot. It's not like he has a bad motion. His jump shot is fluid. He did take a lot of bad shots. He's been working on his jumper, and it's been improving. He's a good defender. He can score the ball at a high rate. And, let's just talk about this. Sam Cassell, right? Assistant coach. John Wall, Kentucky. Look what John Wall turned out to be. Sam Cassell, Doc Rivers. Who they get? Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. Look what he turned out to be. So now we got Tyrese Maxey. Oh, my goodness, Tyrese Maxey is about to blow up. Then look at John Calipari, who he co-signs. Tyler Hero. Tyrese Maxey is about to do the same thing for the Philadelphia 76ers. People just not going to agree because it's the Sixers. He's going to give us the same type of offense with better defense. Then in the second round, we got Isaiah Joe. I touched on him. Then with the number 58 pick, we got my guy Paul Reed out of DePaul. Not saying he's going to be a star center, but I'm saying his upside is there. 6'9", can score, a double-double guy, giving you over 2.5 blocks, giving you 2 steals. His defense is there, being able to guard multiple positions. Let's talk about the trades we did. Because draft day is not about what you draft. It's also about, it's not only about what you draft. It's about who you trade for with those draft picks. My Sixers. One thing everybody in the world knew, if Ben Simmons and Embiid are going to work together, we need shooting. So what do? We went out and we got a Danny Green. Everybody wants to say Danny Green's trash because he missed that one shot in the finals. Let's not act like Danny Green didn't win 2 straight championships. Let's not act like Danny Green wasn't a part of great teams, like he didn't have a great career. Freddie, you're shaking your head now, but I promise you, when you got Danny Green, you were over the roof. Don't say you were not, because this
I was not.
This dude is well, you're doing
hot garbage this year. Not just that one shot this year.
Okay, this dude is a veteran. This dude has experience. This dude has been on championship teams and been a good piece for championship teams. Then we traded away Josh Richardson to get Seth Curry. Coach Cam, he knows how good Seth Curry is. Seth Curry, he can make a strong argument. The numbers are there that he's the best shooter in the game, shooting over 42% for the three-point line. I can read you all the stats, but I'm not going to do that to you. Just know Seth Curry is going to be like how J.J. Redick was for us. Scoring over 18 points, shooting over 40% from the three-point line. He's a better shooter than JJ. He's a better ball handler than JJ. Listen, my Sixers won the draft day by far. No team has made major improvements like us. We got 2 new starters. We got very, very good backups. And Seth Curry, oh my goodness, he's about to have a career year with the Philadelphia 76ers. I'm talking about 18-plus points or at least 45% from the three-point line. His usage rate is going to be through the roof. Doc Rivers is going to unlock him. He's going to lock everybody on the Sixers team. We got shooters. We got spacing. We improved by far. We went from a team to a team that's really going to compete in the East.
Coach Cam, I'll move to you. Who do you think was the winner or a winner from the NBA draft?
Winning for the NBA draft, I looked at it. I really like what the Charlotte Hornets did, man. I really did. Before, you look at last year with PJ Washington. That's a nice 4 position player. And then this year you get your point guard of the future. You can move Devontae Graham off the ball because he's a shooter. Get him coming off screens. Let LaMelo play make. I like what they did. And then you get a scoring big man in Vernon Carey early in the second round. And then you get a Nick Richards, someone who can protect the rim, block shots and things like that. This is a team, that don't have all the pieces quite yet. But you look at, Miles Bridges, you look at now LaMelo Ball, and and PJ Washington and some Devontae Graham and some of the pieces you have now, you're starting to see yourself kind of seeing what your roster is going to look like in the future, and and they can possibly make some noise there. So not this year, but I'm talking about far as bottom teams, as far as trying to get to that 8 seed, perhaps in a year or two. With these young people, if Jordan can put the right pieces around LaMelo and that crew. But starting off with this draft, I thought they really did well.
Freddie, I'll bring it to you to bring it home. Who do you think was a winner from the NBA draft?
First, I want to tell Chris what the Spurs fans were telling me. They said, "Do not put your hopes all in Danny Green. He's hot and cold, and when he is cold, he is cold." And this year, he was horrible. This year, so I just wanted to let you know.
All my faith not in him, but he's an improvement from Al Horford. I would take a jelly bean over Al Horford, my guy. So the fact that I got Danny Green,
I was surprised you didn't mention Al Horford. Get that contract off. By the way,
that's the improvement to get a Danny Green. I don't have to mention what should already be understood. Getting rid of Al Horford is a blessing. I would take this camera over Al Horford. I would take my phone Al Horford. Listen, they could have gave us a fax machine for Al Horford. I don't want this dude on the roster. He was a waste of money. We could have got the worst player.
The same way. Hey, they said if y'all Philly fans, well, it wasn't it.
He ain't play like no. I mean, if you're not going to produce on the court, then you're going to get treated as so. So if you're going to play like that, they're not going to have no remorse for you. You're going to play like trash. You're going to get treated like trash. He should improve this play. Point blank. Period. That's how I rock over that Philly. Exactly. He no better.
The winners of the draft to me is the Minnesota Timberwolves. Why? Because they did not screw it up. They got the right pick. You have D'Angelo Russell. You have
how they didn't screw it up.
Because they could have screwed it up like the Timberwolves. Like they could have messed it up. They could have drafted Wiseman the first pick. So yeah, they could have screwed it up easily. They got the right pick. You have a D'Angelo Russell. Because man, I'm real high on D'Angelo. I miss if anybody that I wish is still on my Lakers, it's him. Because that dude can score the ball. He's finesse. He can give you. I mean, he can space the floor out for you. He can give you 8 assists a game. You have Karl Anthony Towns, your best player on the team. So you can put a Wiseman in there. I think they will all work good together. So I'm interested to see what they do in free agency tomorrow. So to see what they're gonna do to fill out this roster. But I think that they did good by not messing up the draft.
There you go. Freddie says the first team. Coach Cam says the third team. I'm going to go right in the middle. I'm going to go with the Golden State Warriors. I really like the addition of James Wiseman. I think it was the obvious pick for the Golden State Warriors whenever you were looking at the first three. I think that obviously, he was very dominant whenever he was on the court. This guy has the potential to take the NBA by storm at a big man position. I think personally he's the best player in this draft. I think he's got that potential. And then whenever you look into the second round, they go and get Nico Mannion over from Arizona. I think this is a great addition as well. A very good not off the ball, but a very good playmaker over there in Arizona. Had a lot of potential whenever it comes to passing the ball and making shots become open. Not a bad scorer as well. And then finally, getting that 6'7" guard Jessup from Boise State. This guy is a big body guard, would be a great addition to the team because just like all the other Warriors, shot 41% from the three. He's a very good three-point shooter, really fits the bill of Golden State. I think it really kind of marks whatever that team is going for. Obviously, the Splash Brothers, they are who they are. This is a team that's built and bred on the three-point shot, and this is a guy that's been there before and has shown that he can do it at least at the collegiate level. Now, if it's going to translate to the big time, we'll see. But for now, a 4-year guy over at Boise State, and he showed consistently that he was a great three-point shooter, and then even became a 95% free throw shooter in his senior year. That mark stands above is a great value. Taking 95% from the line from anybody. So I really like the Golden State draft. I thought they did very well in picking talent that really fits their team.
Can I just say one thing, Will?
What's that?
I feel like if the Sixers was any other franchise, everybody in the world, we'll be saying the Sixers won the draft. And, y'all can call me crazy, but Philly sports will always get the disrespect because it's Philly sports. If any team would have made the improvements that we did, because ESPN's getting us the love, but everybody else, you should see everybody else saying Sixers this and Sixers that. If you're any team that gets rid of a terrible contract, brings in 2 shooters, gets a Tyrese Maxey, everybody's picking them to win the draft. I just want my team to get the respect we deserve.
I'll be honest with you, Chris. I put 3 names down, and you and Coach Cam took my first 2, so I had to go with somebody. Okay. I'm not going to sit here and beat the dead horse if I have a different answer, so I might as well hit somebody else.
Well, Chris, I understand you talk about people disrespect Philly sports. It's okay, brother. No one disrespects the city sports like Cincinnati's. So don't. There's no comparison when it comes to that.
Now, I just want to say, me and Coach Freddie, nobody cares the disrespect that your so-called teams get. We all know you're bandwagon, but Coach Cam. Hold on. I'm talking to Coach Cam real quick.
I'm in a bandwagon to my Lakers.
Coach Cam, I think we can all agree that the trade that me and your team did, Josh Richardson for Seth Curry. I wasn't talking about basketball. I'm talking about football. Oh. Relax, Freddie. You getting too hyped? Go sit down. The trade that me and you did. Well, not me and you, but our teams did.
Yeah,
I love it on our end. I think it's a guy that you needed. I think it was a mutual understanding that we need shooting, you need defense, and I would say Josh Richardson's a good player. I think he could work over there with Luka.
I will say this. You said disrespect to Philadelphia. I mean, what have Philadelphia teams done, Chris, to be disrespectful to? I mean, your Eagles, they're hot garbage. The Sixers haven't really lived up to expectations. So it's not hate. It's just fair observation.
Okay. It's really hate, but I'm gonna let you think what you think. I'm not gonna argue with you today. I'm not gonna do that. I'm gonna let you get this one because I don't want to hurt your feelings on here.
I get it all the time.
I don't want to hurt your feelings on here. I don't.
You're Mr. Delusional.
I don't want you. Listen, you're not going to get me started, Freddie. I'm very. Listen, I'm not. I'm going to sit back and let you say whatever you want to say. I don't want to hurt your feelings today. It's the last real talk of the week. Monday. Oh, be ready. I'll make you cry.
All right. Before tears start being shed on Thursday, let's try to wrap things up. We talked about the winners. Let's go on the opposite side. The flip side of the coin. Who lost the NBA draft last night? I'll go in reverse order. Who did I start with? I think I went with Cam. So Cam, we'll start with you. Who's the loser of the draft?
Oh, the loser of the draft. The loser of the draft to me, is the. I'm gonna keep harping on it. The Chicago Bulls. I know. I get it. Chris kind of persuaded me with the whole Patrick Williams thing and how, and how he can fit, but I just didn't like what they did. Like I said, when you have 4, and like I said, it wasn't the deepest draft in the world, but when you're at 4, man, you gotta find the player that you feel that. I guess they feel like they can plug and play and give him some minutes, but I just don't see it. I see a lot. I see like a Stanley Johnson clone more so. I see him closer to Stanley Johnson more so. I see him closer to OG Anunoby, and I think that's far as defensive type of prowess. And I think they're trying to hope that he turns more into like OG Anunoby, somebody that can make a 3-pointer, defend multiple positions and things like that. I just don't know if you're going to get that out of Patrick Williams. And their second round pick is a guy that probably won't even touch the NBA floor no time soon. So I'm not, it is what it is with the Chicago Bulls. I thought they really dropped the ball of a chance for them to really, really improve their roster.
Going in reverse order, Freddie, it'll be you next. Who is the loser of the NBA draft?
The New York Knicks. Even though they got Miles Powell, he's a point guard. And, he gave him 21 points, 4 rebounds a night. I still say, they should have drafted a guard their first pick, man. Just because this is the guard league, I think you're New York. We already touched on. I'm picking up the New York Knicks.
I'll go in with you there, Chris. Who is your loser for the NBA draft?
Well, this was the NBA draft, and the loser to me was the team that didn't make any improvements today, and that's the Los Angeles Lakers. Not saying they're a bad team, but you talking about who lost the draft. This team didn't They weren't involved with the draft today. So I think with them not even having a pick, with them not even trading to get a pick, with it being called the NBA draft, they're the losers to me.
Hold the hell on. How are we the losers, Chris?
It's called the NBA draft. If you weren't involved, then I'm going to say you lost because you weren't involved. Not saying you're bad. See, look, you can say one thing.
Say that, no,
you want to. You want to.
No,
that's why you want to say.
We did get a draft pick. We ended up buying one. If you wanted to look into the research, I forgot the player that we got, but we did get one last night.
Who'd you get, Mister? I forgot to play. You're supposed to know your team.
We got a point guard. We got a point guard. He's going in the G League.
When? What round?
The second round.
No, you ain't get nobody. Stop lying to the people.
Yes, we did get somebody.
No, you didn't, Freddie.
I'm gonna send it to you. Hey, want to put some money on it?
Yes.
How much?
$100 million. Your team ain't drafting.
Oh, please, come on, Chris. Come on, I like you. I don't want to take everything you got.
Yeah, I just did the research here because I'm looking at the draft board. I'm looking at the second round.
I'm looking at the NBA website. I don't see the Lakers.
There's no Lakers picks. You traded 20. You traded 28 to the. You traded 28 to OKC. Oh, so undrafted free agent. So you started signing them. Okay. Yeah, I probably did.
I was about to say, sounds like Freddie owes $100 million.
You need my Lakers. I didn't say nothing about Philadelphia 76ers.
I didn't say anything bad. The question was who lost the draft. At least these teams, Chicago.
The Clippers. Did the Clippers draft anybody?
The Clippers made trades during the draft. They made trades during the draft and upgraded their roster with Luke Kennard.
Yeah.
Interesting. So I'm going to go a different route.
And had a second round pick. Sorry to cut you off, but they traded it.
You're good.
Oh, they traded it. We had first round. We traded it. So technically we did it. No, hell no, Chris. Technically we did do something. Put me on the screen. But we had a first round pick, sir. We traded it with Dennis Schroeder. So yeah, Yeah. Put some respect on my leg.
Can the moderator talk now? I'm going to wrap up the loser of the draft, and you can actually take me off the big screen because I want to ask somebody, anybody really. I'll go with Coach Cam. Coach Cam, you've been rumored as the guy who's all-knowing and everything such as that, the reasonable one. What's the one thing Boston Celtics need? What's their big piece?
They need a center.
There you go. And what's the one position they did not address? They did not do that at all. They heavily on the backcourt, which was interesting for me because they have names such as a Kemba Walker, such as a Jaylen Brown, such as a Marcus Smart. This is another interesting draft situation in which they just kind of heavily built up their backcourt. And it still leaves the question mark at the big man. Sure, maybe not the big man that you want is at that position, but I feel like something could have been done. Now, Aaron Nesmith, he is a hell of a shooter. I mean, the guy.
They did need that. They need a shooter.
Okay, well, it's still one of those to where the biggest need, in my opinion, is still the center position.
Yeah.
And so, whenever you have the thing that you need to address and you don't address it, we're talking about winners and losers here. You need a big man, go get that big man. And so it's just like your pick with the Lakers. You didn't have a pick, so you can't win. If you have a clear need and you don't address it, you're a loser to me. And so with that, I'm going to laugh at Freddie talking into a mute mic, and we're going to move on to the 1 minute wrap up. Freddie, that was.
This dude is crazy.
Now, I will say this about the center position. They didn't draft one. I know they're still probably going to try to go out and get one. But I do think they have a little faith in Robert Williams, protecting
I do too.
You started to see it in the bubble when they started giving him some minutes.
He got a lot of minutes. I think he's going to have a good future over there.
We'll see what comes of him and everybody else after the NBA draft. Obviously, there's a lot more questions than answers right now. But let's get to the 1 minute wrap up. We are going to hit up these final three players, and we are going to rank them 1 through 3 as we bring this episode to a close. Today, our people are as follows. We've got Donovan Mitchell, Luka Doncic, and Bradley Beal. We need a list 3 to 1. We're going to start with Chris. I want to hear, who do you have in your three? How do you rank these three?
I will say everybody's list is going to be completely different. Starting from 3 to 1, I have Luka. I'm just joking.
I was about to log off. I was gone.
No, but I start off at the top to bottom with my number 1. I do have Luka. You know, I've been high on Luka since he was a rookie. You know, I'm gonna be honest. I found out about Luka playing 2K back in like 2K18, 17. When you play the franchise mode and you go custom draft, this name was always popping up early, and I'm like, who's this guy? Who's this guy? Then he plays against the Thunder a couple years ago when he's still like younger than me. I'm like, oh, this is the guy they was talking about. Now you look at him right now, one of the best players in the league. I mean, walking triple-double, walking 30-point triple-double. The scariest thing to say is the only thing this dude has to work on really is his jump shot, and you're never going to leave him open because once he's hot, you know, oh, my God, he's hot. So if he improves and be more consistent three-point shooter, the sky's the limit for this guy. I think the defense will come when he gets more in shape, when his body type gets there. Number 2, I have Bradley Beal. I mean, this dude averaged 30 and 6. Yeah, he wasn't an All-NBA. He wasn't an all-star. I've been high on Bradley Beal since he was drafted. The thing with Bradley Beal, though, is he couldn't stay healthy. That was the only problem. That was the only problem at the beginning. He couldn't stay healthy. But since he's been healthy, this dude has been one of the best 2 guards in the game, one of the best scorers in the game, and proven to be, after last year, one of the best players in the game. So I'm excited to see him and John Wall healthy. Number 3, though, I do have Donovan Mitchell. It's nothing against Donovan Mitchell. I think this dude is an incredible basketball player. I think the fact that he's really carrying these Utah Jazz he does not get enough credit for that. You know, I understand he got the players he does with him, but you look at the performance he had in the playoffs. I mean, 50-point games, 50-point games, 40-point games. This dude is a beast. This dude is a two-way player, and he's a little bit undersized. People yet to forget that. But, you know, he just comes number 3 to me. I think he's a great basketball player, though. There's no winners or losers when you're doing this 1 through 3.
Freddie, I'll move to you. I need your 1 through 3 on these 3 players that I have presented.
Ladies and gentlemen, I don't know how the hell this happened, but me and Chris actually agree. I have Luka number 1. Chris said it, give you a walking triple-double, 30-piece. They compare him could be the next LeBron James. Number 2, Bradley Beal, dropping you 30 tonight and don't make the All-Star team. That's embarrassing, man. Like, NBA, you guys got to do better, man. This dude dropping 30, giving his all every night, every game. I mean, come on. Then Donovan Mitchell, man. Donovan Mitchell's a bad man. Like Chris said in the playoffs, did you guys see the Nuggets and the Jazz going back and forth, going 50, old school going back and forth? I mean, that's my top 3 right there. Me and Chris, we match up. Let's see if Coach Cam gonna make it 3 for 3.
We all know his number 1. Who was number 1 going to be?
Yeah. You know, that's pretty automatic. I mean, we really don't have to go there. Number 1 is, you know, I feel Luka. You know, out of the 3 is the best. Like they said, 30-point, you know, walking triple-double. Makes everyone around him better. You know, great passer. Need to improve on defense and, you know, perimeter shooting, being more consistent. But, however, you know what you're going to get from Luka game in and game out. Number 2, I'm going to shock the world. I'm going Donovan Mitchell. And the reason why I'm going Donovan Mitchell is this. I know I love Bradley Beal's game. But, however, there's something to be said where, you know, Donovan Mitchell, you know, single-handedly, you know, has won some playoff series, you know, and that's where, or at least won a playoff series, you know, and if you just take Donovan Mitchell away from this Jazz team, what the hell are the Jazz? And that's where I kind of give Donovan Mitchell a little boost there. He's really willing these Jazz teams to the playoffs, and honestly, you know, without him, there's no way they go to 7 games with the Nuggets. So I give Donovan Mitchell 2 and Bradley Beal 3. Like I said, I mean, people have Bradley Beal 2. I'm not going to argue that, and I get it. He's 30-point scorer. You know, and can fill it up. I love his game. It's smooth. He can get any shots he wants. You know, you really can't go wrong in the order outside of picking Luka 1. If you don't pick anybody else 1, then you're wrong. But outside of that, you really can't go wrong. I just got Mitchell 2 because, you know, in the playoffs, you know, he's willed those Jazz team, you know, to a playoff series win. And also, like I said, I don't see how you get to Game 7 without Donovan Mitchell. And I don't think if you remove Donovan Mitchell, sure, you might be looking at the Jazz picking number 1.
There we have it, folks. There's our 3 players ranking that up, and that'll bring us to the end of ASAP Real Talk for today's episode. A great episode, bringing in a lot of NBA topics that we're desperately in need of being addressed. And thank you for everybody being involved in the comment section. Everything from viewing to liking to sharing, everything such as that. Chris, please address my father right there.
Listen, Freddie, don't ever mute me. I know how to mute myself, unlike
I didn't mute you.
This was oh, my bad. You probably did, though. I'm just going to blame you like I do everything. This was the best comment I've ever seen. I want him to get every single merchandise we have. I fully believe basketball will never be the same because it is so soft. And you talking about a guy that's 19 years old. I hate this new basketball. Now, yes, all these guys are very, very talented. I will give them that. But it's a lot of crying going on. And the talent is there. And I'm true. You can't disagree that the league is far more talented than it's ever been because they have to adjust. You can't just bank on a guy push you down. You're not just going to play in the NBA because you can fight, because you're a mean guy, a tough guy. Oh, you have to have skill to be in the NBA right now. But damn, man, back then was some good basketball. And there's only a couple players in this league right now that can play back then. But the new brand of basketball in the playoffs, you will love it. The regular season, you might disagree, but in the finals, you will love that basketball. That's all I gotta say.
I'm really glad you went that route there, Chris, because I've kind of always been that way whenever I was trying to get into the NBA. I mean, I always thought it was too soft, and honestly, I know the 3 of you are big basketball guys, and I was almost afraid to say something. So I'm glad my dad stepped out for me. So that's awesome.
yeah, definitely. I like the 90s basketball. And it's one, won't go into it, but it's just one of the reasons why I kind of like push MJ up there, just because of what he went through to get those titles, getting his tail kicked for 2 straight years and just keep grinding, man. That was tough physical basketball. And then I look at it like this too, like, there's a lot of specialty guys now in the NBA. I understand that, it's more skill, but however, it's a lot of specialty guys. He's a rim protector. He's a 3-and-D guy. He's this, he's that. And you can get in the NBA if you can knock down some shots and play defense. You're in the NBA. If you're 6'11" and can block shots and can't throw the rock in the ocean, you can still get in the NBA and be a first-round draft pick. There is skill, but however, I will say back in the day, you just couldn't be known as one thing coming out of college. Maybe your game suffered a little bit and maybe you didn't, always, pan out. But, back in the day, you just couldn't be like, okay, he's a shot blocker, so therefore we're going to draft him here just because he's a shot blocker. No.
Ladies and gentlemen, this will be a topic on Monday because we can go all day on this. Coach Cam, I want to say all the things. I want you to save everything because we will address this on Monday.
All right, sounds good.
I will close with the fact until I see somebody willing and able to belly-to-back suplex somebody when they go up to the rim, basketball will be down there on my sports. But we'll address that Monday. So until then, any closing thoughts for anybody involved?
Shout out to Kenyon Martin Jr.
Yeah.
Drafted out of IMG. Coach Cam, I know that made you happy because Kenyon Martin Sr. was – listen, shout out to him. Shout out to everybody that was drafted. Everybody deserved it. And shout out to the guys. We didn't touch it, but the guys that weren't drafted, listen, when you get your shot, take it. A lot of people deserve to be in the NBA. Then they get drafted for a lot of political reasons. He was too short. He didn't do this. He didn't do that. Understand this. When you get your shot, take off. Shout out to all the guys that draft night.
Tune in tomorrow to All Sports All Plays. We do a special preview of the NBA recap show, 8 p.m. Central. Can't wait to see you there.
All right. Folks, that brings us to the end of ASAP Real Talk, and we will catch you on Monday. We'll catch you all later. Same time on Monday. We'll take it easy.
Peace.
Peace.
All Sports All Plays. All Sports All Plays. All Sports All Plays.